All right, everyone, welcome back once again to the Speedcast presentation, bringing you Game 2 in this best out of 3 series from WCS Europe. Between these two players, joining me, Muatorn, a.k.a. Brandon of Muatorn TV. What'd you think of Game 1, dude?
I thought it was good. I'm a little disappointed that I forgot to check my replay syncer, but whatever.
Yeah.
My bad, my bad.
We live and learn.
There you go. Just getting used to it.
Yeah. But that was an incredible style out of our Zerg player there. Just completely retaining map control throughout the game, keeping his opponent on just those 3 bases, keeping him inside of his base. Oh, that was incredible to see the multitasking and the multi-pronged aggression.
Yeah,
and the continual...
Nerchio's really good at that.
Yeah, pretty good.
Pretty
anyway,
good.
Like you said, in the bottom left-hand corner, the blue Zerg showing us that dominant Mutalisk-based play there. Playing for Team Acer, he is Nerchio.
And his opponent, yet again, from his own team, Team Grubby, he is Grubby, and he's red. And Protoss.
Grubby, dropping a forge in base.
Yep. This is pretty much because he thinks Nerchio is going to 6-pull.
Nerchio going with a 14 pull, which is standard.
Yep.
So he didn't scout, so this is just completely blind.
Yeah, it's so you don't really have to scout as well, because even if they do 6-pull, you just throw it on a cannon in your middle line, and then you're pretty much safe, and you can save your forge, so you can do a stronger attack. If you want to just do 1 base 4 gate, you can get +1 with it or something like that, or you can just keep building cannons when you expand. Either way, it's just better if you get attacked.
Yeah, but against an opponent that is playing standard, I suspect this is going to set him behind. He's going to have to build more buildings down here at the wall off. He's going to get that Nexus down at roughly the same time here, although he did go second cannon before Nexus.
Yeah, usually you just have to build the second pylon first. It is a little safer, but there is a disadvantage to it, being that you do have to build that second cannon quicker, just so you can get their second pylon quicker, so you can get the cannon up.
I screwed you up.
Really not a you did. It's really not a huge deal. I sometimes do this on like Tal'Darim because everyone 6-pulls, and then you just get a free win.
Okay.
It's actually a free win.
I just don't play Tal'Darim because it's a terrible map.
It is a really bad map.
But what are you gonna do
for everything but Zerg.
So right now we do see Nerchio poked in right there. He sees the cannon, so he knows there's a forge, and he doesn't see it on the low ground, so he knows exactly what is going on with Grubby right now. And Grubby going to 2 gases immediately behind this. Looking like he could play standard right here, but he also has the possibility to get pretty aggressive with those double gases.
Yeah, generally you do go double gas after your gateways, so this is pretty much standard.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you can get aggressive off this if you want to do like just a big gateway attack with stealth and stalkers. If you get 6 gateways really quick, you can just go kill your opponent, and it's really funny.
Yeah, no upgrade's going to be started yet from our Protoss player, as he does hit that 100 gas mark. Zergling's going to be driving the probe back here, so there's no more scouting information from you. If we take a look at the vision, though, we do have vision of that 3rd from Grubby, so he knows that is gone down, but he has no clue what is going on over here in the natural or the main, though he could suspect that it's probably going to be pretty standard.
Yeah, actually I'd like to point out one thing about this wall that I do like. Being that the forge is in the main, it can't get picked off in any weird attacks. Like, any roach aggression can't just kill the forge and then run away like a lot of Zergs do, so I guess that's something I didn't really think of until right now for some reason. He's also got the cybernetics core in the main, so just gateways in this wall, which makes it really disposable, to be honest, so I actually really like that.
Yeah, not bad. And he's going Stargate. So
yeah.
Do you see that going down up there? We did... the Overlord did come in there, and it was able to get the spot off on the double gases in the main, and it spines there at 6 minutes. Standard Zerg scout timing. No gases in the natural, so 2 gases. Generally, as a Zerg, when you see that, you're thinking that could be an earlier gateway attack. But as the 3rd gas does come down here at the natural, and the 4th gas as well, although Zerg doesn't look at it, the possibility of getting really aggressive greatly diminish.
Well, I mean, there's so many Protosses right now who are doing that 3 gas but 2 in each thing, so you really need to see how many probes are in each gas to know. It's just a good way of both tricking your opponent and managing your economy in a way that makes it more efficient. So it's so hard to tell just from seeing one gas, because I don't think he's seen the other one yet. So he doesn't know if it's 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And Grubby could be taking this gas in the bottom part, but not the top part of the natural, just to fool his opponent. And Nerchio knows that, so he really needs more information to have a good idea of what's going on. But he does know that it's not any kind of weird, really, really low gas tech or low gas attack. So that's good for him. He could probably guess Stargate, to be honest.
Well, it's certainly one of the things that could be coming out of this. And with all these Phoenixes on the way, that Stargate is being chrono boosted constantly. The Phoenixes will make their way out of the map probably when they have 4. They're going to go to town on some of these Queens and probably pick off some Overlords as well. No Spore Crawlers are down right now. The Evolution Chamber going to be finishing up right now. He'll probably be starting +1 armor relatively soon out of that. And the drone count continuing to go up, all the way up at 60 right now, which is a pretty healthy drone count for at this point of the game.
Yeah, 60 is actually quite a good. And I just realized that if Nerchio's been paying attention to these gateways, he should know for sure it's Stargate, because they haven't been producing since a couple centuries. So if he's been paying attention to that, he'll know, and there should already be spores on the way, which there are. Yeah, he might have actually already known, or these might have just been started right away. He does pick off a queen here, it looks like, and might get some drones, but the spore is finished now, so most likely not.
Yep, not going to happen, at least there at the third. He's going to be able to pick off an Overlord easily over here in the main, and even going to be able to get this queen as well before the 2 Spore Crawlers do finish. If he makes his way down to the natural, though, he's going to be sorely greeted by that Spore Crawler already completed. But he's
going to get it anyway.
Yeah, he's going to get that. He very adeptly moves the 1 Phoenix out of there so that it doesn't take too much damage, although the second one does take a significant amount of damage. Behind this, though, Nerchio is going to take advantage of the fact that if you are going Stargate, pure Phoenixes, you do not have a good way of dealing with heavy Roach, heavy Ling aggression. So using all those lift-ups on those Queens is going to be able to harm Nerchio in the long run, but in the short run, Grubby doesn't have a whole lot of units. Immortal just being produced now, Chrono Boost just sinking into that, and Stalkers and a couple of cannons is all that he has for the time being. And so Grubby needs to get going pretty fast here, but he's hit a real hard supply block.
Yeah, I just want to point out really quick before this engagement, Grubby killed all the queens, and none of them are done yet, so that's pretty good. It doesn't look like he's going to lose this century. He might. Oh, now he is. This is pretty good for Nerchio. These force fields have kept Grummy's units out of his base. The Phoenixes do come back and start picking up roaches, but, I mean, like you were saying, Phoenixes just aren't really that good at killing roaches. Nerchio, however, is retreating, so he's kind of giving up here, and this puts Grubby ahead, just straight up. He's ahead.
This was the proper decision to retreat, to try to block this third for the time being, but as soon as he saw that Immortal, he knew that this attack was over. It's unfortunate. Well, he's going to try to pick off the probe there, and it does get the probe, so denying the third just a little bit longer. He's probably going to lose a few of these roaches. Yeah, he'll lose at least 1. Might be able to get a second one, but the first 3 force fields in that attack were really good. And the last one got 2 of his sentries killed.
Yeah, the last 2, I don't know what happened there.
So that's unfortunate.
So that's weird.
Ling run by tried to get in there to the main. Another Ling run by at the third is actually going to force a cancel here on the Nexus. So great job denying that. Actually, no cancel.
Oh my god, no!
That is actually not a good thing at all.
Yeah, that sucks. And he might even get a Stalker here with these Lings, but it looks like... No, Stalker lives. He does damage 2 of them, so that's good. And Grubby's Phoenixes are actually over at Nerchio's third, picking up drones. Trying to get some more here. He's killing the gas drones, so hoping that Nerchio won't notice and he won't put more drones into gas, which I've seen that happen before, and I've also seen pro players state that being the reason they lost is just because they forgot. That's rough, man.
It definitely happens. So I hate when I'm playing against good players that do that, because I am a bad player and I'll forget to put them back in there. I'm like, why can't I produce infestors? And I'll look at my gas and I've seriously had a game once, okay? Long game, 40-minute plus, whatever. And the entire game, I was like, why am I so starved for gas? And every gas on the map, like, that I have, like, all 6 bases on Cloud Kingdom is mined out. And I look at the replay, and I see that I had, like, 2,200 gas left in one of mine in the main, and, like, 1,600 gas left in the other one in my main. I'm like...
What?
The entire
That
game,
sucks,
I just didn't have enough gas to make the infestor count I needed. And I'm like, that's the reason that I lost that game.
Motherfucker.
Makes me sad.
Sorry about that. Anyway, yeah, we actually see Storm here again from Grubby, which is kind of cool. I mean, is he bringing it back, man? I hope so.
I think so.
Like I said, I love Storm play in this matchup. It's so good.
Grubby just loves Storm. He does.
Yeah, Grubby Storm. How's the weather?
Yep.
Exactly. And I did want to say he was at 73 probes before the third finished. That is crazy.
Yeah,
you almost never see that happen.
He was just able to transfer those right on over. So Grubby's economy is actually really good right now. And if we take a look at the immortal count, it's at 4. These immortals are going to be plus 3 in just a second here. That's going to absolutely destroy the roaches. The problem is that there's already spine crawlers going down. There's a ton of infestors with relatively high energy here. And the Greater Spire is only about 60 seconds away from completion.
Yeah, it's definitely big. But, you know, Grubby already does have the Stargate finished, so he can get a mothership quickly if he just throws up that fleet beacon soon, which I assume he will as soon as he knows about this this hive. Oh, and there's actually a Ling run by in the third right now. I didn't see that. Really nice Storm, and he did also stack all the probes into a mineral patch, so that the Zerglings couldn't hit them all really well. Kind of like what you see in Zerg vs. Zerg 6-pool defense. So that was really nice. I like that a lot. He's also got some Zealots still there. Should probably move those out into a different position, but you know, if he wants to use them for run by defense, that's fine as well. I actually still see these 4 Phoenixes killing units. Like, this is pretty crazy.
The Phoenixes
generally these would be dead by now.
Yep. Grubby making sure to maintain some map vision with those Phoenixes. He's killed 8 workers. He's killed 3 queens and a countless number of roaches here. So Grubby is actually only about 10 supply down, but there are already 8 Broodlords on the field, a Spinecrawler wall, and 7 full energy infestors here. So this is going to be a pretty rough attack. But I think Grubby definitely has the possibility here. Although there are a ton of infested Terrans going down, Broodlord's in the back, going to be able to get an excellent angle, and huge storms going down on a lot of these infested Terrans. But the High Templar all get fungled there. There's only 1 High Templar left. The Phoenix is going to be able to come in, though, as there's nothing left on the ground that's really going to target these Phoenixes down other than a few infested Terrans and a Spore Crawler. But Grubby going to be pushed back. At the same time, though, there was a Ling run by that did take out Grubby's 4th base. That Nexus, the assimilators, both are dead. The mothership on the way, and Grubby looking like he wants to continue this attack, warping in Zealots and High Templar here. A huge Zealot warp and actually going to be making its way over here into the natural. Going to turn around and make fight with these Lings. That is not a fight the Lings want to take.
Oh.
And
yeah, I actually really like this. Grubby should keep attacking. He just wasted, or made Nerchio use so much infestor energy cleaning up just his Phoenixes, you know, with those infested Terrans. So now he's going to split up Nerchio's army. He's going to send Zealots into the natural, and then pressure at the third, which will hopefully force some more energy usage out of these only 5 infestors. And once there's no more infestors, Broodlord's really not that bad. In the natural, we do see these Zealots are killing roaches. No, he didn't kill a Spore Crawler. But now some units have come back, and Grubby should actually use this timing here to go in, because it's just Corruptors and Infestors. But he doesn't know that. He's playing safe and taking his 4th up in the top left.
Yeah, the Zerg player did see that, as a couple of Zerglings did run that probe down, and as Zerglings do make their way up there, that's going to be canceled. Grubby right now is sitting on a lot of minerals. He needs some more gateways. If we take a look at his gateway count right now, I see 2, 5, 7, 8, 9. 9 on what he had was 4 base, now he's back on to 3. He simply needs a few more gateways. He doesn't have the infrastructure to make use of the huge economy that he has. If we take a look at the probe count, still up at 73, even long distance mining at this point. A speed warp prism, it's a slow warp prism, isn't it? I don't.
Yeah, it's a slow warp prism.
Is going to be dropping some Zealots over here at the natural, or to the hatchery at the bottom right hand corner, and Zerglings is making their way across the map. Are going to try to save this, but I think these Zealots, if they're properly targeted, they're going to get that hatchery. And Grubby takes his 4th once again at his standard 4th spot. The Zealots are going to be dropped over here at the 3rd, and the Zerg player not aware of this at the time being. This is 7 Zealots over here that are going to be able to deal a lot of damage at the 3rd and 4th bases if Grubby utilizes them properly. Even going to be warping in a few more, but his army back at home definitely not strong enough to deal with this huge Death Ball army from Zerg.
No, like you said, this drop is going to do a good amount of damage. He might lose this War Prism here to just some Spore Crawlers. No, it's going to be fine. He unloads the Zealots, and the Spore gets away. Also, goes into phasing mode, so it can, or what is this? Is this phasing mode? Yeah, phasing mode. So warp in some more Zealots, so this is going to be a lot of pressure, and Nerchio is forced to move his army back to deal with this. Pretty much just takes the pressure off Grubby, allows him some more time to get energy on his Mothership, and get some more energy on his Templar, warp in more units, do lots of fun stuff, and he does actually need to clean up these lings at his 5th.
Grubby doing a very good job here of exploiting the immobility of this army. This is how you have to play against a heavy Broodlord composition. Fungal's going to be going down here while the Broodlords get into position, and a couple of units definitely going to be lost here. There was an Archon, an Immortal, 3 Zealots, and a Stalker lost there. No small army that was lost. A Storm needs to maybe not go down.
Nope.
that was kind of interesting. But the Mothership on the field now with 135 energy, that's going to be enough for a Vortex. If Grubby's able to stall anymore, it might even be enough for 2 Vortexes. But the Zerg player looks like he wants to make this attack happen right now. He says, this is my time. Both players at 170 supply. The Broodlord's starting to pound into this 4th base. Their first assimilator is going to be the casualty there, and making short work out of a lot of these photon cannons. At the same time, there's a Zealot run by over here going into the natural, and the Protoss player not willing to engage just yet, starting to pre-split his army, and a Storm might be going down over here, maybe. Yeah, actually a good, come on, Storm, there it is. Storm does go down there, but the Nexus does fall. Zerg gonna be able to retreat there.
Trades a Nexus for a Storm. It's kind of weird. But, you know, what this does give Grubby is just time. He doesn't want to fight this army quite yet, clearly. He wants... I don't know what he wants. I mean, does he want more Archons? He can't really warp much more in. Oh, he says 178 supplies, so he does have some more room for warping in. He could make some more Archons, or, you know, maybe he wants Stalkers. I definitely think he should just get rid of these Immortals at this point. It's 3 Immortals, so 12 supply that's just useless. I wish he would put them into a Warp Prism and drop them and try to pick off a building with Zealot Warpins. I love seeing Protoss do that instead of just like walking their Immortals into their opponent's army. That's really what you need to be doing with them. They can do so much damage. It's pretty much like dropping Immortals versus Protoss. I mean, that's so effective. So it's just as effective versus Zerg.
Yeah, we did see a couple of Warp Prisms trying to make their way in while that engagement was going down. They were all sniped by Corruptors. So none of the Warpins even managed to get off either. So that's unfortunate. We do have 5 full energy High Templar here. So that could be a lot of Storms if Grubby so chooses to use those. And another huge Zealot and Archon Warpin comes in here to the 4th. If those target the hatchery, that hatchery will die. Not going to choose to do that for the time being, though, as Fungals, Zerglings, and Banelings coming in. A few drones are going to go down. But
this Archon one-shots drones.
Yeah, he's a badass.
Dude, I didn't know that. He's got 20 kills already. That was crazy.
Yeah, he's a badass like that.
He just walked in and was like, time to die, everyone.
Yep. he's pretty cool. Grubby actually going to be going for a run by here. Going to run completely past his Zerg. He's going to be looking for a recall after he snipes this natural, and
should do it, yeah.
There the natural goes. He's going to be able to snipe maybe a queen, but beautiful recall there. The Banelings make some connections there at the end, but nothing but shield damage, and that was a great job by Grubby. Even another Zealot Warpin right now. We had some Storms go down here on the drones, and that is a huge number of kills, up to 63 workers killed. The Archon plus those 2 Templars, which are going to form another Archon to one-shot some drones some more, have just done so much damage to the Zerg economy. Nerchio actually feeling like he might have to go all in at this point.
Yeah, he really might. I don't really see his economy recovering at this point, especially with Grubby's like awesome Mothership play. That's one thing I've always loved about his, like, he knows what he's doing. And actually, we see Stalkers here blinking in, picking off 1 Broodlord, but it looks like he might lose some more.
Actually, a huge
nice
Vortex. Yeah, that Vortex is able to suck about 6 Broodlords in. The Banelings go right on in, though, so anything that comes out of that is going to get exploded for the Protoss, but a lot of Banelings required to take down an Archon here. as
Yeah.
that is exactly what happens. The mothership is able to do a decent amount of cloaking here for the ground army, and another big blink coming up, and he's able to take out the remaining broodlords. There's 6 broodlords. And this is actually a pretty good fight for Grubby. The Zerg army is going to survive, but only the air portion right here. Everything on the ground has been cleaned up, so there's nothing to prevent the Stalkers from blinking under the Broodlords at this point. The Immortals on the ground are able to provide a little bit of a buffer, and the last remaining cannons are going to be able to get a little bit of damage done to these Broodlings. Grubby needs a big warp in, though, and he's out of money at this point.
Yeah, that's really tough. I mean, if Grubby could just warp in one round of Stalkers, he could go finish off this army. It's only 5 Broodlords and some Lings at this point, but I mean, he's got Archons, so they're kind of good versus Lings, but it's not able to do that. The Broodlords here do fire some Broodlings at Probes. Probes just run away, no loss there, and we do see 4 Stalkers warping him, but that's just not enough. He needs, you know what, honestly, like, never mind, that wouldn't work. I was going to say he could get like 1 Void Ray, but there's 8 Corruptors, so that wouldn't work at all.
Now, the saving grace here is even if he loses his 4th, which it looks like he's going to, he's still on 3 bases with 53 probes. He's lost his 5th base, but Nerchio has been, he's down to 3 bases as well, but Nerchio's only on 20 drones.
Yeah, that's
while this happened, the 4th
lot.
and the 5th base were killed off by Zealots and Archons, and 72 workers have been killed throughout this game by Grubby. Those probes have not been lost. Only 28 workers lost on the other side. So Grubby has not had to reproduce those probes, and he's able to long distance mine with them, and even sniping off 2 infestors there. 1 fungal does go down. A 2nd fungal going to be able to go down there, as a lot of Lings do kill some Stalkers, but as the Immortals and Archons come in, the Lings going to be forced to retreat, and Grubby takes a supply lead at this point.
Yeah, but this is all workers. I mean, he's actually got lower army values, so this is still a rough position for Grubby. As long as Nerchio can keep doing damage with this army, he should be fine. The problem here is there's only 2 infestors left, and there's 4 infestors. Okay, they were just at home, but none of them really have any energy. And this Archon is such a badass. 32 kills before it died. I think I'm a little bit ahead of you again. Damn it. I don't know where you went, so I'm gonna keep casting. Yeah, so this is going to be good for Nerchio if he can keep doing damage. He needs to get more energy on these infestors, then he can go. He also needs some more Lings as a buffer, and the mothership is out now for Grubby, though, so he definitely has a good chance in this fight. I don't believe there's an Overseer with this army. Let me check here. No, there's no Overseer. I don't believe there's one even out. No, there's 3 out. I just don't know where they are. So if those are with the army, they can still fight against this mothership. If not, tough luck, dude. You gotta use fungals for reveals, which are not really what you want to be doing. And are you here, my friend?
Yes. Sorry
Okay.
about that. An alarm just started going off in my apartment, so I had to go check that out. Yeah, don't worry about it. It was just the smoke alarm going off with some steam, because that makes sense.
Maybe it's a heat alarm.
Yeah, there you go. The mothership going to be having enough energy now for that vortex, and there's only 4 broodlords in the sky right now. 4 broodlords, 4 infestors, 6 corruptors. The Zerg army looking pretty pathetic right now, to be honest. And with only 15 drones on the map, only on a 3-base economy, the Zerg is all in at this point. High Templar have been warped in to try to get some energy for feedbacks or fungals or something like that. And it's worth noting right here that these Overseers are relatively low on energy. You don't want to have those high on energy because they can be feedbacked and killed instantly. But
yeah,
right now,
it looks like once
posturing.
Yeah, it looks like when they have full energy, 1 feedback kills them. So there is one that's vulnerable to that, but for the most part, he's okay. What was that? An infestor that he just got?
2 infestors.
Oh man, that's huge. 1 Templar for 2 infestors in this situation is vastly superior, or better for Grubby. Being that, infestors just aren't really something that Nerchio can produce easily, because he just doesn't have anything. I mean, Grubby's at least got something of an economy. He's got no... What the hell am I talking about here, actually? Grubby's only long-distance mining. I just realized this.
Yeah,
My
they're
bad.
both only long-distance mining. Both of them have mined out their main natural and 3rd. So at this point, it is all long-distance mining for both of these players. This is a hell of a game.
Yeah, actually, at this point, I think Nerchio's a little bit ahead. If Grubby can't get another Nexus up, then Nerchio's pretty much won the game. I shouldn't say he's won the game, but I mean, like, he's in a good position.
I disagree. Just because Grubby has almost tripled the workers that he has, so he has tripled the income from this long-distance mining. The problem is that the area that he's mining from is about triple the distance from the area
Yeah.
that his opponent's mining from. And right now, both these players just kind of posturing up, but throughout this, the High Templars are getting energy. The Mothership is now maxed on energy, and it's all going to come down to the engagement, which looks like it could be happening right here. High Templar goes in for another feedback on an Infestor, and that was absolutely gorgeous. However, the High Templar is going to die. It gets off a beautiful storm.
Yeah. Oh, he's at 39 pro. Okay, I thought he was still at like 52. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like he can. That's actually a really good vortex. He gets a lot of stuff in there.
The vortex does go down right there, and I think that our Zerg player might have to tap out relatively soon. Some huge fungal is going to be going down, but the Blink Stalkers do get in there. They're able to target down each one of these Broodlords. The Banelings are going to be able to connect on a couple of these Stalkers, but the Immortal on the ground able to do so much damage. The second vortex going to be going down there. Takes out the rest of these units as the Infestor jumps in and says, take me with you! The Mothership falling there to some Corruptors. Both players very low on supply right now. If we take a look at army supply, 28 to 34 actually in the Zerg's favor. Blink Stalkers on the ground. There's only three Broodlords left in the sky right here. And one of the Broodlords, two Broodlords, one Broodlord left. Is it going to be able to die? The last Broodlord does fall, so it's nothing but a couple of Zerglings on the ground. And like you said, I think that's it. Nerchio with the grin. Grubby probably sighing relief. Whew.
That was a close-ass game, man.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Game gets called right there. Grubby brings it back to even, going to game 3. Wow, what a display by Grubby. Not being intimidated by his opponent, knowing that he is able to bring that back there in the late game. Doesn't even need the 4th base. He didn't try to force an engagement so that he could get that 4th base. He knew what he had, and he just waited until he was able to get a favorable engagement, and that won him the game.
Yeah, that was really cool. Definitely a fan of Grubby's play there. I love recall plays. I'm so excited for Mothership Core just because we can start doing that a lot more, and it'll make games actually kind of exciting.
Yeah, there's nothing like getting 4-gated and then just recalling as soon as speed kicks in. Like,
I hope that doesn't happen.
No, that that definitely happened to me yesterday on the hot spot. But we'll talk about that another time. This was a gorgeous game. Thank you to WCS, Nerchio, and Grubby for giving us such a good game and for putting these replay packs out. I really appreciate that, Blizzard. Shout out. So yeah, we're going on to game 3. Gorgeous game. I just want to highlight at the end there, 80 workers killed by Grubby in that game. That certainly helped him out a bit.
Storm drops.
Storm drops, Archons.
Yeah, those Archons, man, one-shotting drones. That was crazy. I didn't know they could do that.
Yeah, man, +3 Archons. Pretty good.
That's pretty awesome. I thought they only could one-shot Zerglings, but
no. All right.
That's Archon drops. Think of the
We
future.
are moving on. I've been your casting host, Beef. Check me out on Twitter at BeefPopPie1 and YouTube, YouTube.com/BeefPopPie1. My casting host, Muatorn. Check him out. His name's spelled out here on the overlay. Twitter at Muatorn and YouTube.com/MuatornTV, MuaTaran. Brandon, any final words?
I'm really excited for Game 3.
Game 3 is going to be
Both the first 2 games have been so good.
Yeah.
So,
It's a good
certainly hoping
series.
for something of equal excitingness.
Yep. All right, we're moving on. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you guys